What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. And as you guys can see by the title and what you know already, because I'm like a day late to this news, even though I was following along closely. I was a little busy, but the NHL will officially be coming back in January. Now, this is something that was kind of up in the air. I know that on this channel we discussed some chances that there wouldn't be a season. We discussed the possibility of different ways that the conferences were going to be put together, the divisions, sorry, not conferences, the divisions that were going to be put together. And we were also talking about the fact that would it work financially? There's just a bunch of different things up in the air, but it's being said now, it's pretty much in place that the NHL will have a season, which is good. Hockey fans, we win. We get to watch hockey. They're obviously still settling some of the details, but most of the big details have been discussed and agreed on, which is good. I definitely wanted to see hockey this season. I did say in the videos before that I was unsure of how it was going to work and if it was going to work at all, but thank God that we're going to get some hockey. So let's just look at this article here from Sportsnet. Now, I always lift the text so that way you guys can see it a little bit better. I zoom in. But as you can see there, like we said, the NHL's Board of Governors will approve a season, 56 games. So we're going to get 56 games. Now, I know some people are probably like, oh, we could have had more. We could have stretched it out another month or two. But you will see that the timeline probably makes sense because the NHL wants to get back to its regular schedule. So the regular season will begin will begin on January 13th and conclude on May 8th. So the Stanley Cup playoffs will feature 16 teams in the traditional best-of-7 four-round format and wrap up around mid-July. The plan is to return to a normal hockey calendar for the 2021-22 season. So basically, they're going to be going up until May, trying to be able to do their normal draft, free agency, all that stuff like that. So that way, we can get camps again in September and then start the regular season in probably mid to late October like they usually do, which is really good because I like that format. Like I like the way that they do that. I like the normal start times, but because of what's going on right now, obviously it didn't make a ton of sense. So this is just good. This is very good. So the National Hockey League looks forward to the opening of our 2020-21 season, especially since the return to play in 2019-20 was so successful in crowning a Stanley Cup champion. Blah, blah, blah. It's a Scary Bettman statement. And then this is obviously the divisions. So the NHL is going to go with these divisions. We talked about it. I'm pretty sure it stays pretty much the exact same, but we are getting that all-Canadian division now. Right here it says the NHL is going with a division realignment that includes a 7-team Canadian division, which still requires approval from local health officials for the games to be held north of the border. So what's been happening is, like, if you look at basketball, the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are not allowed to play in Canada, obviously, because all the American teams would have to travel there because they're literally the only Canadian team. So technically, there's no home games because they're not playing any games at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto that they share with the Toronto Maple Leafs because they don't want a ton of travel. Now, in the United States, there's been a lot of stadiums, a lot of places there that have, kind of ignored a lot of what's going on right now. So, there's been a ton of travel. There's a bunch of, even some places where, stadiums have been open. Like if you look at the World Series, like they had fans there, not full, but they still had fans there. Some NFL teams have had that. Some soccer. There's been a lot. So in Canada, that's not happening. They don't want any of that happening. So they're still going through to see if it's going to make sense for teams to travel in and out of different Canadian cities and stuff like that, because like Toronto has a ton of cases. So I don't know if, people from Edmonton or Vancouver or whatever, like if their health officials are going to be like, well, why would we send them there when there's a ton of cases, or and then they're coming back here even though they're going to be tested regularly and apparently they're going to be getting the vaccine like we discussed already. There's a bunch of stuff up in the air that we're probably going to have to continue to make videos on, but there's still some talk that they might not want the Canadian teams to travel within Canada, that there might have to be some teams playing out of the same area. So like Calgary, hypothetical, like Calgary and Vancouver playing out of the same arena, or like, Ottawa and Toronto playing in the same place. It's probably not going to happen. Like, I think that they're going to allow them to travel, but it's there. Like, there are some places that are considering it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So like I said, that division is going to be all Canadian: Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. That should be really fun. I'm not totally for the North Division. I want to see how it plays out before I give a final verdict. But, obviously with what's going on right now, we can't play all these American teams. It's just, I'm going to miss, as a hockey fan, the Western road trip and like all that stuff like that. Like I want it, like I can't wait for this all to be over so we can have a normal, hockey season. But then the East is Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Penguins, and the Capitals. The Central will feature Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Detroit, Florida, Dallas, Nashville, and Tampa Bay. And then the West Division has Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Jose, and St. Louis. So I like the way that these divisions are mapped out. Obviously, it just makes sense. And let's get into some more details on how people will qualify here. So each team in the East, Central, and West Division will play every other team in its division 8 times, while each team in the North Division will square off 9 or 10 times. The top 4 teams in each division will qualify for the playoffs. And then there's another statement here saying the players are pleased to have finalized agreements for the upcoming season, which will be unique but also very exciting for the fans and players alike. That's Don Fair from the NHLPA Executive Director, or he is the NHLPA Executive Director. So then the last point here on training camps, they'll begin on January 3rd, but teams that did not qualify for the postseason in 2020 will be permitted to begin activities on December 31st. And there's going to be no preseason games. They're going right into the regular season. So I'm sure they're going to have like simulated scrimmages that are a little bit more intense in their practices, because they're going to have to. Because, I mean, no preseason games, sure, like that's kind of cool, but it kind of sucks at the same time because some of these guys are not in game shape. There's some players that have played in other places, like you see like a Joe Thornton, who was playing in Europe, or playing overseas, different players. Honestly, I don't even remember where Joe Thornton was playing, to be honest, so don't quote me on that, but he was not playing, he wasn't not playing hockey, he was playing hockey, but definitely some players will have an advantage if they kept up with some of their off-season training and got in some games or whatever they did, but it's going to be very good for those guys. Like, those guys stayed in shape, so they're going to be fine. But we'll have to see how this works. I'm excited that there's going to be hockey. Don't get me wrong. There are some things here that I'm not too pleased about, but there's going to be hockey, so I'm not going to complain too much. But you guys know my opinion on some of like the divisions and, what I think about the North Division. But we'll go into more detail because we're going to have, a bunch of videos coming up on the channel, and we're going to have a lot of hockey coming up. So definitely be on the lookout for a lot more videos. I'm trying to get all this, preview stuff done before the season starts because there's a lot of stuff I got to do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. I was trying to get to 10K before the year ended, but that's not going to happen. But I do appreciate all the support, and hopefully go into 2021 with your support and more videos coming out, more recommendations, anything that you guys have. So thank you guys so much. Hockey is back, and that is great. That's what we needed. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.